I want to tell you how I doubled my Instagram engagement as a small creator with just these 5 simple tips. If you want to learn how, keep on watching. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steckly, and here on my YouTube channel, I love to inspire growing creators by talking about all things YouTube, Instagram, filmmaking, and freelance. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. I post them every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. So I guess I thought I should just briefly mention, in case you were skeptical or just curious, I'll tell you a little bit about my current stats. So on Instagram, I have just about 1,600 followers, and a couple weeks back before I implemented these strategies, I was getting around 200, just under 200 likes on a lot of photos and around like 20 comments. Now I'm consistently getting high 300 up to like 400 in some cases likes and around like 40 comments. So it's increased a lot. I say doubled because I think that's like the closest term to what's happened, but I just wanted to let you know, be upfront, that's the kind of growth I've experienced by using these strategies. The first thing that I did that really started to change my Instagram engagement is also something that is pretty unexpected, and that is I started to post less often. I honestly never would have considered this until one day my friend Sarah said, "Would you consider posting less frequently than daily?" I think that sometimes people are interested in more quality over quantity, and sometimes scarcity makes people a little bit more interested in content. And at first I was kind of like, man, I don't know, everybody says you gotta post daily. But then I decided to try it. And I decided to have a higher expectation of what each post should have in terms of a photo, a caption, a call to action. And so I started posting maybe twice, 3 times a week. And surprisingly at the same time, my engagement started to go up. So I do want to say post less often, with the caveat that those posts then need to be very intentional, very high quality, and there's a lot of stuff you need to be doing in addition to those 3 posts if you actually want to see yourself grow. So you can't just go from posting daily to all of a sudden less often and think that's going to make you grow, but I would encourage you to consider, if you're currently just posting as often as possible and you think that maybe changing your focus from frequency to quality and engagement, you might see your numbers go up. The second thing I did that really increased my engagement is just creating high quality posts. Now that's a really general thing, so I want to break this down into a couple sub tips. But in general, it is very important that you are intentional about your posts on Instagram. Don't just throw anything up in your feed. It needs to be well thought out and valuable to people. So one way you could make your post valuable to people is by writing long captions. Again, this might seem counterintuitive because people think social media, low attention span, I gotta just put an emoji in there and send it out to the world. But that is definitely not the case. Of course, not everybody is gonna read your blog post like caption, but for those few people that are super interested in your stuff, they will read the whole thing and then they're gonna comment on it. Honestly, sometimes I wanna go and I wanna engage with somebody's post, but I have no idea what to say because their caption doesn't give me any kinds of prompts to work with. But if you give a caption that is thought-provoking, useful, interesting information, people are much more likely to comment because they have something to respond to. I usually write my Instagram captions out on my notes app on my laptop beforehand because I'm much faster at typing on a keyboard than on a phone. And I will think about a main topic, something that's going to be really enticing, that's going to grab somebody's attention as my first couple lines, because you got to think, if you're writing a long one, people are going to tap see more. So you really want to give them a reason to click on see more. The captions that I've written that have created the most engagements are ones that are all around a similar theme of vulnerability and sharing something about myself. So I have a post about body positivity in the travel space. I have a post about self-doubt, about setting goals. These kinds of things that sort of open yourself up to the reader actually are really interesting to people because people are curious and people are used to everybody on social media putting up such a front and not really showing their deeper self. So if you're willing to add in that vulnerability and really share something personal, people are gonna find that interesting. So try to do that. Of course, you need to add high quality, applicable, and relevant hashtags. Don't just throw the really general ones like hashtag travel, hashtag selfie on your photos. Literally not a soul is going to see them because there are millions of photos in those hashtags. Take some time, do some research, and find some hashtags that are really applicable to your niche. One of my favorites is the hashtag no small creator on Instagram because it's small enough that your post gets seen, but it's also big enough that there is a community there and there are people interested in seeing the posts in that hashtag. Another tip that I have is look into local hashtags for your city. My city has a number of hashtags that people are actually really interested in checking out to see what the local events and stores, restaurants and stuff are up to. So use those hashtags, find some local people to engage with. Next up, in every photo, you can be tagging relevant accounts in the photo. The beauty of this is that when people are scrolling through, they don't see all these people tagged. It's only if they actually tap on the photo that they will see the tags, which honestly, be honest with yourself, how often do you do that? Probably hardly ever. Same here. So most people will never even know that you've tagged other accounts. However, you can use this to notify or reach out to accounts that you think are relevant to your post. So I do this all the time when I'm traveling. I will tag the tourism board of the country that I am in. I will tag any accounts that are about the city, feature accounts about traveling, women travelers, all that kind of thing. Those accounts are looking for content to feature on their account. So even if they don't feature you, they are very likely to like and comment on your post. Or best case scenario, you might actually get a shout out on like the Ecuador Tourism Board Instagram or whatever it might be. This is a hugely underutilized feature, and I think a lot of people could be doing this more often to really give each post its best shot of being seen by other people. The other benefit of this is it gives you this whole group of people that are getting a little notification when you post. So if they're already on the app, they might click on it and go like your post, and the more people that do that in the first few minutes of your post being live, the better it's gonna do in the algorithm and has a better chance of getting onto the Explore page. So all of that is how you can make a really high quality post that's gonna have a good shot at getting on the Explore page and being seen by more people, which is exactly what you want. So remember those few things: long, enticing, engaging captions, relevant, high quality hashtags, tag accounts in your photo that are relevant that might want to feature your post. Now, let's move on to the most important part of all of this, which is engaging. I've been talking a lot about it throughout because obviously we are trying to get people to engage with us, but if you want that to happen to you, you need to go out and engage with other accounts. And this is something that so many people neglect, especially people that are just starting to gain a following and they're just really interested in having an audience to speak to, but they aren't interested in being that audience for someone else. Well, let me tell you, if you want to get the audience, you have to give it to other people. Now you might think of this as just like a good karma thing. If I go out and reach out to other people, then I should get it back, but it actually does work in the algorithm. The more you engage with other accounts, the more other people will see you. If you just sit on Instagram, post a photo to your 100 followers and never do anything else, the most people that are ever gonna see it are those 100 people plus maybe the few. How long has this screen been blank? I'm trying to show you my YouTube channel in the background. I just get so excited talking about the algorithm that I forget about what's in my background. However, if you as an account with 100 followers go out and reply to comments, comment on posts that are in hashtags that are in your niche, go to accounts that are in your niche, reply to comments on their posts, comment on their posts, all these kinds of things. These are all chances for your username to be in front of the eyes of other users on Instagram. Super underutilized strategy, but super, super important. And it is honestly the main way that most people who have big followings have built them up. It's because they're actually out there talking to people. You cannot just build an Instagram account and assume people will come. You need to go out, engage with people, give them a reason to check you out. Think about it, so many people are into hashtags, so you put 30 hashtags on your post and you think that's 30 chances for me to be seen by other people. Well, think about this, if you went out and commented on 30 different posts, that's another 30 opportunities for people to find you, and you can do that all the time. There's no limit on, well, I think there might be a limit on comments if you do it too quickly, but if you're not spammy about it, there's no limit on how many people you can reach out to. They're just engaging with their content and they're actually gonna like you for it because they're looking for that engagement too. It's helping them grow. So just remember that when you are trying to grow your account, it's not all about just putting out your content and hoping people come to you. You need to go out there and find those people, and it's actually for the best because you can look for accounts that have audiences that you think will vibe with your brand and then reach out to them. For instance, one of my favorite strategies is going to the Gold Digger podcast account, going into the tagged photos and literally going through and commenting on any post that has less than 20 comments, because I think it's more likely for people to see me if I do that. and I get responses all the time. Whether or not those people actually come to my account, well, that's a toss-up. It doesn't always happen, but I've reached out to somebody. I'm telling the algorithm that I'm out here talking to people, and that alone is useful, even if none of those people actually come and follow me. Along the same lines, my next point is something that I always do, and that is respond to everybody. You are never too good or too busy to respond to people that have taken the time to comment on your posts or send you a DM. I say that with the main exception of somebody is harassing you, saying rude things, you have no obligation to respond to them. In fact, I think you can delete those comments and ignore those DMs. However, if somebody has come and reached out to you with something positive or even just some kind of, civil feedback, I would encourage you respond to every single one, because that's gonna help you look more active in the algorithm, which Instagram takes into account when showing your posts to people. But it also just is nice to actually respond to people who have taken time out of their day to say something to you, either in comments or DMs. So lately, I have actually spent a lot of time responding to DMs, and I've really enjoyed chatting with people because it gives me so many ideas of new YouTube videos to make, what I could put in my captions. Like, it's all about market research, and those kind of opportunities are perfect for it. So do not pass them up by either ignoring them or just throwing back an emoji or something. Like, really try to have conversations with people, because when it comes down to social media, it's all about relationships and being social, like people always say. Finally, my last tip is to use stories frequently, especially now that you maybe are posting only 3 times a week. You should still definitely be on your stories every single day if possible. It tells the Instagram algorithm that you're an active account, and it also gives you a chance to reach your followers outside of the feed. Speaking of stories, I would also encourage you to share your new post to your story. My favorite tip is by zooming in on the photo, adding a little tap here icon, and it entices people to go check out the post. If you can actually manage to get them there, they are very likely to like it or comment because they're already there. If you want to see the details of that, you can check out my Instagram hacks video, which you can click on right here. I would definitely recommend watching it. It is obviously my most popular video on my channel and one of my favorite ones that I've ever made. Before you leave though, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos like this. Like I said, I post every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday, and I like to talk about YouTube, Instagram, creativity, freelance, all that kind of thing, and I would love to have you along for the journey. As always, I hope that you are having adventures and following your dreams, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!